Hello, my friends. Welcome back for another solo episode of the Modern Phoenix podcast. I am your host, Gervase Kolmos, inner transformation coach, here to guide you out of the cage of your conditioned mind and into your body and soul wisdom. I want to talk to you today about overfunctioning. As I was kind of like prepping some notes for this episode, I noticed the way that I was like describing things in my notes, it could almost be like pathologizing. Because I was going to say, let's talk about our overfunctioners, right? Like you are either this person, this type of woman, or you're not. And then I was like, hello, I was overfunctioning yesterday. I might be freaking overfunctioning right now. It's not bad or wrong. It's just a way that we survive the pace of modern life. So I want to talk to you about a pattern, a way of womaning that I call overfunctioning. And you may identify as like your whole identity may be, I am an overfunctioner, and that's fine. That's a part of you. But I also just think it's almost like important to have this conversation in the context of the real world and to address and acknowledge that overfunctioning is kind of how we get shit done, right? It's how I today am able to, record this podcast, do a 2-hour group coaching call, pack my family of 5, go to the grocery store, parent my kids, and leave for a flight tomorrow morning, right? Like it's kind of part of the gig. And also, I noticed that because of the fast pace of modern life, so many of us have gotten a little bit stuck in overfunctioning. And I want to share what that can look like, why it happens, and also what to do, how to kind of get it unstuck a little bit, and things that I do on days like today where I'm like, whoa, in Inside Out 2, if you haven't seen it, great movie. There's a character, Anxiety. And at the end of the movie, they show her and she's like running in circles around the control board of Inside Out. And it's like there's smoke coming out of her ears. Like she's just like, cannot compute, moving so fast. It's so relatable. And I feel like that's how most women feel all the time. They literally feel like the anxiety character in Inside Out. And again, it's like, we're going to hold this with like a both and. While that is highly relatable and sometimes supportive to function in the modern world, I also see the ways that we get stuck, like anxiety and Inside Out. And we need tools and guidance on how to pull it out of overdrive to function just average functioning, maybe minimal functioning, maybe not functioning at all, maybe just living. Maybe just being, maybe just enjoying your one incredible life, because isn't that the point? I think it's the point. I keep coming back to this where I'm like, oh, the list, the to-do list and the getting everything done. And isn't that the most satisfying feeling in the world? And then something inside of me is like, so confused. It's like, really? Did you see the sky today? It is pink. Did you know that there are tiny particles out in space? Like that cannot be it. The list cannot be it. And I was talking to a client yesterday who I think she would definitely self-identify as an overfunctioner. And the list, it does feel good to get the list done. And also, I'm here to give you access to your birthright, which is not just the brain functioning, thinking, planning. I think about the term executive functioning, like making it happen, but also the body and the soul being along for the ride. So you can enjoy all the things that are created as a result of the functioning. I think all of us have had this experience. I started really exploring this a few years ago where you like do all the shit to get on vacation and then you go on vacation and you still don't actually feel relaxed. You actually still feel anxious. And then you're like, how come I don't feel better? I thought if I did all the things on my list before vacation, I could get to vacation and then relax. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I noticed for me, I know I went on a trip with my husband like 5 years ago, and then we got there and I still didn't feel relaxed. And I was like, this isn't a get shit done problem. This overfunctioning actually is not supporting me in this moment. I need tools and access to communicate with my body that it's okay to relax now. Hey, This is the living part. This is the experience we've been functioning at such a high level for the vacation, right? Obviously, this is problematic as well. We want to create an entire life that feels like we don't need to escape from it and just have like a couple weeks a year where we get to enjoy it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about overfunctioning. I think if you could distill it, what I hear my clients tell me is I want to feel like it's okay for me to shut my brain off. I want to feel like it's realistic and also practical and doable for me to chill out, but I just don't know how. And I want to explain this. So when we get into this fast pace of doing, what we're kind of signaling to the body is everything out here is a threat. Okay? We are overactive, we are hypervigilant, there's threats everywhere, and they are all equally important. And this is, I talk a lot on the internet in general about like everything is not an emergency. Everything does not get equal weight. And if you're starting to feel like everything feels exactly the same in importance, that might be an indicator that like this pattern of overfunctioning is actually blocking you from enjoying your life, from the pleasure and access to your body and soul sovereignty. And so when the brain has convinced the body that everything out there is a threat, the nervous system can get a little bit stuck in overdrive. It's kind of a mind fuck because in order to relax, in order to slow down, in order to feel safe to shut off your brain and chill the F out, you need to get the signal from the body. It's like the body must interfere with this brain pattern. However, it can't because it's stuck because the brain is moving so fast and doing too much, right? It's like a chicken and the egg situation. And this is where I come in. And this is where tools and practices and sisterhood comes in, because if you are trying to DIY this, you will not be able to. I've watched, it's easier for me to see this in others, of course, than it is for me to acknowledge it in myself. But sometimes I'll watch my husband and he's like spiraling out of control. Like he's such an overfunctioner. He is so good at life. Sometimes I just like sit and watch him in awe. And I'm like, it's like so perfect that we are married to each other. And he needs help. He cannot do less. He cannot shut his brain off. He cannot. And so he needs help. He listens to my hypnosis tracks all the time in the middle of the night. And I'm always like, oh, like I'm surprised that works. As like, why am I surprised? You all should be listening to my hypnosis tracks in the middle of the night. That's why I include them in all my programs. I give them to all my private coaching clients, because we need access to the parts of the brain that are open. And the subconscious is only open if we're in a state of focused relaxation, which is what hypnosis is. The point is, we cannot relax the brain until we get the body to send the message. And if we're not at all acknowledging, communicating with, tapping into the body, we're never going to calm the fuck down. We literally physiologically cannot. And so this is why, you could go to talk therapy and you could talk about your overfunctioning patterns forever. And I mean, I'm not saying that can't work. I'm sure that it does work for some people, but there is a block often because you need to work bottom up. So focalizing equipped me with the tools to work with the limbic brain. And this is the part of the brain that operates the things that you're unconscious of that are happening all the time. Your breath, for example. And so the reason I work bottom up in my practice is because I notice when a woman is spiraling into story and overthinking, overfunctioning, doing, justifying the doing, feeling like, no, it's literally not possible or practical or realistic or safe for me to slow down. I know that I don't need to talk to her about slowing down. I need to actually help her slow down the machine. And I'm not going to do that by going top down. I'm not going to talk to her brain. I'm actually going to talk to her body. We have to go into the body to work directly with the nervous system, directly with the natural intelligence of your inner knowing to get that wisdom of the nervous system to move up into the brain. This is getting very visual, and not a scientist, don't know exactly the pathways and how they work. However, you can rewire your body, your whole self, because guess what? You're neither a body or a brain. You're all of it. You're a mind, body, spirit. Sorry to tell you, you don't like sometimes work with your mind and sometimes work with your body. All parts of you are designed to be online all the time. But so we work with the body to communicate to the brain. And so often you just need a translator, and that's where I come in, right? And you just need somebody to like manually help you relax the body or connect to the body wisdom so that it can open the gates of the brain to receive the message that the threat code green. Actually, the grocery list is a code green. And so I just did this with a client yesterday. I mean, I'm doing it all the time, like literally all the time with clients. This is happening throughout their sessions. Sometimes one of my clients, when we first started, this was over a year ago, she was like, oh, can we do some focalizing next time? I was like, that's adorable. We were focalizing this entire session. And I think this is something really fun for me of, being in this field for 11 years. I really feel like I have my own style and signature, and I'm always threading mind, body, spirit, resourcing and redirecting and opening gates and opening doors and opening pathways the whole time. And sometimes it's much more like clinical, like it's like, okay, now you're going to close your eyes and do a body drop and a grounding, and now we're going to bring in this visualization. But honestly, I would say the majority of the time it's much more subtle, and it's just giving those cues just a little bit that connect you just for 30 seconds with something else besides the story you're telling yourself in your brain about why everything is an emergency and dangerous. And if you don't do it, you're not enough, or you're a failure, or it's not an option. And I'm literally talking about everything from the grocery shopping to paying the bills. Like they all seem to be created equally when we're in this hypervigilant state of overfunctioning. So when I was doing this with a client yesterday, she said, literally, as I started doing the translating, okay, in this state, what is it like to be you right now? What are you noticing now that we have dropped out of the mind, the overactive mind, and that story and that urgency to function? And we're working with the nervous system. We're working with your inner knowing. What do you notice? And she literally said, I feel calm. I feel like this is progress. I'm on the right path. I feel hope. This was like over the course of the session in different contexts, but I wrote it down because I was like, this shit is wise. These are the messages we actually need to get us through the day. Oh, I'm going the right way. Okay, it feels like if I don't do this thing, this train will go off the tracks and crash. But the reality is that often we just need a little encouragement and reassurance. No. You're doing it. This is how it goes. You're going the right way. It's safe for you to be you. It's safe for you to do less. It's safe for you to slow down for a moment. This woman, we're working on 30 seconds at a time. And that is fine. And that is efficient. We don't need to be in a meditative state for an hour a day. We don't actually. I help women rewire their nervous system sometimes over the course of a few months, several months. I wouldn't say a few. I would say at least 6 months. Why my favorite package is like 6 months. 30 seconds at a time. Why? Because we're changing the circuitry. We're changing the wiring. We're creating open communication channels between the body and the soul and the brain. And then when the brain hears this message, it's like, yeah, that's true. And it takes it into account the next time it goes into that pattern. It might go for a long spell. Like I know for me yesterday, I was like doing so much because I'm trying to catch up on all this work shit before I go to Costa Rica. And I had this moment where I started feeling like smoke was coming out of my ears. Like I felt like anxiety from inside out. And then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I'm overfunctioning. Okay, pause. Let me just like check in. You're good. It's okay. You actually can take a pee break. You actually can go outside for 5. Why don't you sit on the grass for 10 minutes? Why don't you have a lunch in the sunshine? Why don't you drink some water? Make yourself a nice salad. Like, these are basic human needs that when we are in this hypervigilant, overfunctioning state, convince ourselves are superfluous, that we have to justify it. I can't tell you how many times I get on a call with somebody who's like eating while they're chatting. They're like, "Oh, sorry, I just really need to eat." I'm like, "You do not need to apologize. This is your space. Like, this is crazy. We've taken the corporate structure of America and that like capitalistic culture, and we've like applied it to everything. And now we're more robots than humans. And yeah, that's great for efficiency. That's great for production. And also it's not so great for health. It's not so great for mental health. It's not so great for relationships. It's not so great for eating decent food and feeling overall a sense of satisfaction and pleasure in our lives. So how do we connect the two so that you can feel good while you build that life? Because again, if your life is for producing and it's for everybody else and not for you, what is the point? And actually, I want to share something. I was Voxering with one of my clients yesterday, and she's just really had a lot of leaps in the last year, I would say. She was talking about how she was doing triage at work because they had to let go of all these people and it was just like a super stressful time. And she was noticing how she was doing a lot. They needed her. They were like turning to her for answers and for direction and also for the actual triage. And she noticed there was a part of her kind of witnessing it all and going, oh, that's what's happening with that person. And that's what's happening at work. And what's happening with me? And she said these words. And as I listened to them, I was like, oh my God, that's so good. She said, I no longer feel like I need to pull things through me as I am lifing. And I related to it so much because this has been my journey, especially with motherhood. It's like I felt like I needed to pull the functioning through me, like I was the sieve of their emotions. Like I am the sieve of the problems. Like literally, it's kind of like this narcissistic approach to life. Like nothing outside of me can function unless I pull it through myself. Like it takes part of me with it. Okay, I'm solving problems. I'm answering a work email. I need to be on this work call. Well, I need to give all of myself. I need to pull the problem solving through my system in order to contribute. Well, then yeah, everything is a threat. You are constantly burnt out and depleted because you are giving yourself instead of knowing that's them, this is me. Where do they end and I begin? How can I contribute without being on the sacrificial altar? And that's something very interesting. And to do it, we have to first notice that we're doing it. We have to first notice, oh my God, I am in a state of overfunctioning that is so depleting. I feel so burnt out. I don't feel connected to my vitality. I don't feel like I have permission to do literally anything that isn't attached to productivity. Okay, modern life is fucking psychotic. What now? So here's some steps. Guys, I put steps. I'm so proud. Okay, so before we do the steps, I think we just have to have the blanket statement. If you notice this, it means you're focusing out there. Usually when you are hypervigilant or you perceive a threat, your eyes kind of like narrow and you can know the nervous system is contracted. You're hunched over, whether your phone or your desk, your vision is literally like zing, just focused on the screen in front of you probably. So this is why a lot of the embodiment exercises I do are about like leaning back, looking around the room, God forbid. So, because what's happening when we're doing that is we're focusing on the thing in front of us, which means we have no self-awareness. And obviously, that the steps I'm about to walk you through bring it in to your own experience, because how can you know it's not a threat and it's safe for me to be me and do me and feel good if you literally don't know where you end and they begin? Because you're so lasered in on the work email or the call or the bank account or the kid crying that you actually feel like when they're crying, you are the one who is having the experience. If their tantrum is creating, you're pulling it through your own system, and you have never considered the way that I do things, which I'm about to tell you. Yeah, you're feeling so depleted. You're feeling so hypervigilant. You have no idea where your system is. What's your system's baseline? What are your system's needs? Where does your pleasure live in your body? You don't know, because you're hyper obsessed, fixated, focused, and vigilant on them, what they need, what they're experiencing. And this is normal. It's literally just like a nervous system state. And so how do we rewire it? Okay, so step one, you're just gonna notice that your focus is out there on the threat. I'm going to lump this under the umbrella of self-awareness. I really do find that self-awareness is a critical piece of doing inner work, and it kind of gets a bad rap. Like it doesn't count. It's not enough. Oh, but I did it again. I made that mistake again. But but look at you relating to it differently, acknowledging it, seeing it. You're aware of it. That's a big deal, because that means no longer are you just inside another person's experience. Your eyeballs are inside another person's experience. Instead, there's some part of you that's out here witnessing, watching, observing, bringing in the curious observer. That's key. So you're going to notice. I'm going to notice, oh, my eyesight, my focus is out there. 2, you're going to check in. Okay, so I notice, I'm obsessed, I'm looking at their experience, so it means I have no sense of my own experience. Let me check in. What is it like to be me right now? What's it like to be me right now? One of my favorite questions I learned from my teacher, Joe Miller, in our focalizing training. And I Cannot get enough of it. It never gets old. And I want you to actually pause what you're doing. You can even pause this podcast. Take a breath, close your eyes for 3 seconds, and just ask yourself, what is it like to be me right now? What do you notice? Maybe you notice you have absolutely no ability to slow the thoughts and use your inside eyes. You're not going to make anything good or bad because the awareness of it, bringing in the curious observer, is such a huge piece of this. Okay? You're halfway there. You're doing great. Then you're going to ask, like, what sensations do I notice in my body? And I also want you to know you don't have to do any of this. If you close your eyes and you're like, it is so uncomfortable to close my eyes, open them. Skip this step. I'm not the boss of you. Nobody is the boss of you. You have agency. You have choice. You can discern your yeses and your nos. But if it feels okay to notice, like, oh, actually my shoulders are really hunched over. Oh my God, I've been like clenching my hips and I didn't even realize it. That's a big one for me and my clients. And also, like, it might be unpleasant. Once you ask yourself, like, do I notice any sensations in my body? If you're brand new to this work, you're only going to notice the shit that feels bad. However, yay, I'm noticing literally anything about my experience. I'm using my inside eyes. This is a huge deal. This is a paradigm shift. Let's go to me and my experience and what's happening there. Because once we begin to have our own experience and know what it feels like and what it looks like and know who we are, it changes the choices we make and the life that we create. The next step you're going to do after you say, like, what sensations do I notice my body, is what I have it in the Seasons of Pleasure Masterclass. I teach it in the Inner Knowing Mastermind. Where's my water? I'm going to put that in quotes. Metaphorical. Where's my water? This means you're going to ask yourself, what's one thing I could do right now to slow down for a few minutes, to expand this moment of self-reflection, to feel 1% better than I do right now? That is all lumped under the umbrella of, where's my water? Because guess what? Look this is my glass of water. It's empty. Water is not something I like, have a drink of water. I schedule 30 minutes in the morning to drink some water, and then I'm good for the day. No, we drink water all day long. It's a non-negotiable. Those of you who have just been chugging coffee all day long, I see you. Alternate with water. Like me in college with the booze. I was like, maybe I should drink some water and I won't be so sick all the time. Okay, where's my water? What's one thing, one manageable thing I could do? Nothing is too small. Refilling your water and sitting for 60 seconds and drinking it is good enough for me. If you've been doing nothing, one thing counts. And then you're going to notice, what's it like to be me right now? Oh, I drank my water. I explored. I got curious about what's one thing that I could do to feel good for a minute. I did it. Now what's it like to be me? Maybe you feel exactly the same. Maybe you notice a little bit less of the psychotic urgency coursing through you. Whatever it is, it's all data. Okay, I'm always teaching my clients, like, it's not about like fixing it. Like, you don't drink water once and then you're healed. Like, it's about learning about yourself, knowing your system so that you can weather the shit of life. I mean, how profound, Gervase. So you can weather the shit of life. But honestly, right? We're not doing this for like, okay, I'm going to like work on this for like 3 months and then I'm going to go back to my psychotic life. No, we're trying to repattern our bodies, our nervous systems, our habits, ourselves. We're trying to rework our lifestyle so that it actually feels as good as it is efficient, productive, successful, wealthy, whatever. And honestly, if all of this is totally overwhelming and these steps, you just want to punch me in the face, you can just book a soul shift intensive, okay? It's a 90-minute intensive with me and I will do it for you. Because as I just feel like I can't say this enough, we're not taught how to do this. It's okay that you don't know how to do this. I don't do this for myself half the time. I have support because everybody has blind spots and we do hold so much. We do take care of so many people and projects and, you know, we have all these gardens in our lives that we're tending. And so figuring out your own nervous system, like I was certified in a modality, that's the focalizing, that taught me how to do this. Why would you do that? Why would you want to get certified? That doesn't make sense. It was hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and days of my life so that I could guide you through it. So it's like, get help. Like, hire someone, take a class, do something that's going to give you some new tools, some new resources. Because I can tell you now, as I move through my life, as I move through today, I am always noticing, oh, wait a minute. My vision is very narrowed. I'm moving really fast. I'm feeling like super anxious. Okay, let me take a breath. Let me lean back. Inside eyes. What is it like to be me right now? Oh, I feel like my brain is actually a computer. Like I feel like it's heated. Sometimes it will feel like my brain is like melting. Because guess what? Also a human living in the modern world. I am also a modern phoenix. And that's my cue. Like, I am doing way too much. What can I cancel, slow down, reschedule, move around? How can I create a little bit of space for me today? And I'll switch gears. And it looks a million different ways. And this is why resourcing is like a constant thread of conversation in my coaching communities. In the Phoenix Revolution, my container for alumni clients, we're always talking about the different ways resourcing looks, because we're learning how to even check in with our nervous systems, with our bodies, with our souls. Like, are you okay? And then finding, what is the resource that's needed? What do I need right now that would actually make me feel better? How can I integrate that into my life and give my system a felt sense of safety for a few minutes? And that kind of like unlocks, I'm calling them the gates, but it's like unfreezes the computer that is my brain, right? It's like a turn the computer off, turn it back on. I think I've given this example on the podcast before, but it's like when I worked in corporate and I'd be having computer problems and you call the tech guy and he's like, can you restart your computer? And I remember being like, are you fucking kidding me? That's it? You don't have some like, I don't know, protocol? No, you literally just turn the computer off and turn it back on. Even computers get overheated. So when we are modeling our lives after computers and we are not even feeling safe as human beings to shut down, restart, what do we think is going to happen? Of course, we're going to feel depleted, burnt out, overwhelmed, exhausted, joyless, confused. Like, where am I? What do I do? How do I not feel like their experience of me is my experience of me? How their experience of urgency and this is a priority and an emergency and like you need to hurry up is my experience of the crisis. That is the flex to me. That is it. Nobody else's sense of calm becomes my sense of calm. That doesn't mean I don't feel triggered and have moments of reaction, especially with my kids. And also I feel it. I notice it. I check in. What's it like to be me right now? What do I notice in my body? Oh, I'm feeling like my heart's beating really fast. I'm feeling really hot. I'm feeling angry. Where's my water? I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go put my feet in the grass. I'm going to go put on a movie. I'm going to change plans. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to switch out, whatever it is. And then I notice, oh, I'm good now. Yeah. Back to this relationship, back to this priority, back to this responsibility. And that's not like a thing I do once a day. I do it all day long. So there's less, I'm going to call them fuck ups. There's less explosions. There's less regret. Like there's no regret, honestly, because I'm just always navigating this. I'm always using my inside eyes, checking in to get me through the next sprint. And then I sprint and I do a bunch of shit that I wildly underestimate how much I got done. And then I notice my conditioning that tells me like, it's not enough. I have to keep going. If I don't, this bad thing will happen. I notice I'm thinking everything is a threat and an emergency and I'm overfunctioning. And then I'm like, oh, time to shut down the computer. I don't need to be checking emails on the couch at 9 p.m. What the fuck am I doing? Put my devices away and pick up a book. Just one of 10 million examples. Remember, you can change. You can rewire your nervous system. You can change how you feel in your life so that your life gets better. It doesn't mean that out there circumstances are going to change, but you can feel agency over your life. You can feel like you're dancing with the responsibilities and the patterns of the nervous system. And functioning is great. I love functioning. I'm getting a lot done today. It feels great. I am proud of what I'm doing. I'm also proud of how I'm doing it because I'm finding moments of connection with myself, with the people that fill my water cup, Everything has intention and focus and purpose. And then I spiral out and then I come home. And then I spiral out and then I come home. And we do this over and over and over. We strengthen these patterns of being and our life just gets better and better and better. Not because like suddenly somebody doesn't need to go to the doctor or there wasn't a leak in the ceiling or whatever. Triage continues to happen. I just cease over-identifying with it and pulling it through me in order to contribute. I contribute plenty. And also me first. So I offer that to you. Please, please share this message, share this episode with a fellow overfunctioner, which could be pretty much, I'm sure you could open your phone and pick 5. It's pretty much every person I know could benefit from getting permission and tools and like a methodology for feeling a little bit better in their lives while they build a life of their dreams. It's a secret sauce of life. Okay. Inside eyes, intuition over everything. This is the way, my loves. This is how we march into the next season of even being more enmeshed with our tech and doing even more and living in such a capitalistic society. Like, we have to reclaim at least our own agency of our own systems, our own bodies, our own souls. We have to remember that we're not computers. We have souls, okay? And we have to tend to them. We have to get to know them. We have to honor them. We have to get to love them and enjoy them. And we have to have fun and play with them so that our life is filled with not just doing, but also living of the life. The living of the life is good. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And yeah, I love you.